The dog's life is in danger. The fire is getting closer and closer. Suddenly, it sees something and runs towards it. The soldier is trying to stop the fire with all his might, but it's no use. Everything is burning down around him. He looks up and sees the helicopter coming. But when he turns back to look at the fire, he notices something incredible. Let's rewind a bit. This story takes us back to a sunny summer day. It was the perfect weather for a walk outside or maybe even a picnic. But this soldier from California had other plans. His name was Harry, and he worked hard to protect the city from criminals. But now he needed some rest after a long week. So he grabbed his motorcycle helmet and headed out of town for some peace and quiet. He wanted to get as far away from people as possible. He just needed some time to clear his mind. And so he kept riding until he reached a small village. He parked his car and walked into the nearest store to ask for directions to a nearby forest. The villagers were very friendly and told him which road to take to reach his destination. But they also warned him that he shouldn't go there alone. There had been some dangerous fires in the area lately, and it would be best if he stayed away. But Harry wasn't afraid. He was a soldier, after all. He'd seen enough danger to last a lifetime. So he thanked the people for their advice and continued on his way. As soon as he stepped into the woods, a huge smile spread across his face. This was exactly what he needed. The trees formed a natural tunnel above him, and the air smelled fresh and clean. But then he heard something that made him stop dead in his tracks. There was a small whimpering sound coming from somewhere deeper in the forest. At first he thought it might just be a small animal caught in the undergrowth. But then he realized that the noise was coming closer. Suddenly, the bushes rustled and a small puppy came running out. It looked scared and confused and kept whimpering as it ran. Then Harry noticed something else. The puppy had a little backpack on its back, and it was too big for such a small dog. Curious, Harry slowly approached the animal and tried to pet it, but the dog flinched and growled. Harry didn't want to scare the puppy away, so he kept trying to calm it down by speaking in a low voice. Finally, the dog relaxed and let Harry touch its head. That's when he saw it. The dog's body was covered in burns, and its fur was matted and dirty. The poor thing must have been through a lot. And then he noticed the backpack. It had a little red cross on it, and when Harry opened it, he found a bottle with some water and a small blanket. As he took these out, he saw something else. A picture of a woman with long flowing hair holding the same puppy. On the back it said, "To my dear Luna, may you always find your way home." Harry's heart melted when he saw this. He knew he had to help the dog, not just for itself, but for the woman who had taken care of it. But how could he do that? First, he needed to get it out of the forest. The further away from here they got, the better. Just then he had an idea. Harry took off his jacket and wrapped the dog in it, then put the puppy in his backpack and started walking towards his car. The dog seemed to sense that Harry wanted to help her, and it licked his hand gratefully. He smiled and continued on his way. When he got to his car, he put the puppy in the passenger seat and fastened her seatbelt. Then he got in and started the engine. As he drove away, he glanced back at the forest. It looked peaceful, but he knew that danger lurked within it. And he couldn't help but worry about the woman in the photo. Who was she? Where was she now? And most importantly, was she okay? Days went by, and Harry couldn't get the dog or the woman off his mind. He named the dog Luna and took her everywhere with him. She was still scared and reserved, but she seemed to trust him now. One night while watching TV, Harry saw a news report about a missing woman. The anchor said that she had been hiking in the woods when she disappeared. And as Harry watched, his heart sank. The woman in the photo looked exactly like the one on TV. Was this really her? Could Luna be her dog? Determined to find out the truth, Harry grabbed his phone and dialed the number the news channel had provided. When the woman on the other end of the line heard Harry's description of Luna, She burst into tears and told him to bring the dog to her house. As soon as they arrived, she rushed to greet them, and when she saw Luna, she scooped the dog up in a tight hug. "Luna, my sweet girl," she whispered. "I've been looking for you everywhere." Then she turned to Harry and thanked him profusely. "You have no idea how much this means to me," she said, her voice shaking with emotion. "I was so worried that I'd never see her again." Harry felt a lump forming in his throat. He was just doing his job, he said, but the woman insisted that he stay for dinner. And as they ate, she told him her name was Sarah and that she had lost Luna in the fire that had swept through the forest a few weeks earlier. "I couldn't find her anywhere," she said, her eyes welling up with tears. "I thought I'd lost her forever." Harry listened intently, his heart aching for her. He couldn't imagine the pain she must have gone through. After dinner, Harry said goodbye to Sarah and headed back to his car. As he drove away, he couldn't help but glance back at the house. He hoped that Sarah and Luna would be happy together again, but then his gaze shifted to the forest. He knew that there was still danger lurking within it, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something was unright. Just then, he saw it. A small plume of smoke rising in the distance. Harry's heart sank. It was the same forest where he'd found Luna. He hesitated for only a moment before turning his car around. He had to check it out. As he drove deeper into the forest, the smoke grew thicker and he could feel the heat of the fire on his skin. Then he saw it. A small cabin was engulfed in flames and the fire was spreading rapidly. Without hesitation, Harry jumped into action. He parked his car and ran towards the cabin. He had to get whoever was inside out of there as fast as he could. As he neared the building, he heard a small whimper. A dog was trapped inside. Harry didn't think twice. He burst through the front door and rushed to the source of the noise. Through the smoke and flames, he could see a small puppy huddled in the corner. Without hesitation, he scooped it up in his arms and ran towards the exit. As he stumbled out of the burning building, he realized that he wasn't alone. A woman was standing there with tears streaming down her face. "Is that you?" she cried out, rushing forward to grab the dog from Harry's hands. "You found her," she whispered, cradling the puppy close. "Oh, Luna, I thought I'd lost you." Harry nodded, unable to speak. He watched as the woman and the dog embraced tightly, their reunion filled with joy and relief. Suddenly, the woman turned to Harry. "I don't know what I would have done without you," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "Thank you for saving Luna and bringing her back to me." Harry felt a warmth spread through his chest. He had saved both the dog and the woman. And in that moment, he knew that he had made a difference. As the fire raged behind them, Harry and the woman walked away from the burning cabin, their steps lighter now that Luna was safe. The ordeal had brought them closer together, and they knew that they would never forget the day they had both been saved from the flames. Hey guys, do you want to hear another touching story about a dog and a soldier? If so, check out the video on screen. And don't forget to subscribe for more heartwarming tales. Thanks for watching.